Hi, brothers and sisters. It's been a long time since I've posted a video. Um, this is just a dream that I had a while back, and um, the Lord continues to put it in my mind about how I haven't put it up. So, I'm going to do that now. I know I probably sound really rough and look pretty rough, but it's been a very difficult night for me. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just read what I have written here. I actually wasn't going to put it up tonight because I was going to put it off again. But when I was looking at it, I noticed that the date was 11/11/2015, and I always put the day too, and it was Wednesday, which I just thought was very interesting, that today's Wednesday and the 11/11 part too. So, anyways, I'm just going to read what I have. I was in a big neighborhood with huge houses in it, which I believe represented the world, like in general. Like, I was walking, but I was speed walking. I had no destination that I was aware of. I just knew that I was to go at a steady pace forward. Specifically forward, not just any random direction, but forward. Which then made me think about running the race with patience, but not running, just a steady speed walking. Instead of like slowing down or speeding up, just a steady pace. I got to a basketball court where some guys were playing, and I started to feel nervous about having to walk through them and their game. Let me stop for a second there. The people that I had to walk through, the way that I felt in the dream, they seemed like really intimidating. Like if you're a female and you've ever been like in a situation where it's like nighttime and you have to walk to your car and there's like maybe some people around or whatever, and you just get like this like weird feeling like, oh my gosh, I hope nothing happens to me. That's kind of how I felt. Anyways, I just wanted to make that point really quick. Where was I? And I started to feel nervous about having to walk through them and their game, but I was made to know that I couldn't or shouldn't go around them. I was made to know that I needed to go straight, always. Everywhere I walked was straight to my destination. And literally, like in this neighborhood and stuff, like, I remember the dream very well. And reading it brings it back too. But, like, I literally had to go, like, straight through stuff. Like, there's points where I'm, like, walking through people's, like, part of their yard, and, like, but I just knew, in the dream, I knew, like, I couldn't even, like, go a little bit to the left to make sure I was on the sidewalk instead of in their yard. Like, I had to go, like, straight, like, literally. Which is why I couldn't go around their game. I had to, like, keep going straight. Where was I? One of the guys who seemed like he was going to stand in my way or slow me down, and by that I mean, like, he looked like, oh, I'm not moving. Like, if she's going to keep walking, I'm going to stand here. Like, kind of like challenging me, but not talking, just like the way he was looking at me. the guy who seemed like he was going to stand in my way or slow me down actually became, in the dream, a fellow Christian. Like, I don't really remember, like, how we started talking or how I knew this. But I did. I mean, I know we started, anyways, let me finish reading because I haven't read this before I started making this video. Became a fellow Christian, and the other guys were, like, evil. But it was like they knew I had Christ in me, so they backed away from me, but didn't hesitate to look at me evilly. Yeah, like when I was walking through them, at first I was nervous, like, oh man, I hope, I don't have any way to protect myself. Like, that's what I was thinking, like in the dream, kind of like the scenario like I was giving you before, like if you're walking to your car, you're like nervous and whatever. That's how I felt. And then all of a sudden, because I felt strong, even though I was nervous. So I knew, like, that I had this, like, strength that I could still walk through them and be protected. It's hard to explain, but, anyway, so I saw them, like, back away. Like, they didn't want to back away, but, like, they were forced to back away. And I remember their faces were, like, really, like, all of a sudden they turned really evil looking. Their eyes were, like, really creepy looking. Except for this guy, this Christian guy who was, like, with them. Which kind of, like, also, like, points out, like, the separation of, like, you never know, like, people that you're talking to, what, if they're with the Lord or not. But, which is why I think it's important not to make prejudgments about people. But anyways, so it was like they were being forced by, like, an invisible scene, like I had, like, this hedge of protection, literally, but, obviously it was, like, in the unseen, like, in the spiritual realm or whatever, but they knew it, like, they were forced to back up, even though they didn't want to. The most they could do is, like, just look at me, like, really evil, like, so this other guy, the Christian guy, and I talked about Christ and the divinity of our flesh and how we war against it. I don't really understand why I wrote that. The divinity of our flesh. I don't know. I guess that's just what I was saying to him in the dream. But I do remember we were talking about, like, how we're always warring against the flesh. That our spirit is warring against the flesh. Maybe I just meant that we were talking about divinity in general. But anyways, then we got to a convenience store, and I knew the evil was behind us, and they were getting closer. So there was, like, this quick urgency, like at the last minute, like all of a sudden I realized, oh, okay, the convenience store is where I'm supposed to be at. Like, that's my destination. But I didn't know that that was my destination before I got there. Crap, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, once I could see the store and we were, like, maybe, like, 20 feet to it, it was like all of a sudden, like, I could feel the evil, like, basically, like, breathing on us. Like, that's how close they were, but, like, still couldn't touch us. But it made us, like, push forward. Like, if something was, like, pushing us, like, and we just needed to, like, hurry up and, just keep going. Okay. So there was this quick urgency to get into the store because I was made to know the evil couldn't come in after us. Oh yeah, like, I knew once we entered this store that, like, it was done. Like, that, like, they couldn't come in any way, shape, or form. And I believe that the store was a 7-Eleven, and I noticed the entrance was very narrow. Like, so narrow I had to go sideways to fit through it. I remember, like, it didn't look that way, but then right before when we were about to go in, like, I literally, like, there was enough room for me to squeeze my body in sideways, and I think I even had to, like, duck too at the same time, so I had to, like, squish and go in. Once inside, we knew we were protected, and then I woke up. So I guess basically, in a nutshell, I feel like it's, just the obvious that, we have to stay, we can't like veer off the path and like go, like to the left or the right, and we have to like stay focused on the Lord. But it was like very evident, of just how narrow this doorway was, which within itself I feel like is very prophetic. But anyways, I guess I don't really have anything else to say. I hope all 6 of you or 5 of you or however many watch this, that it blesses you or confirms something or whatever it is that it needs to do, why I have to put it up. So anyways, love you and God bless.